Well, my name is Michael. This is Kelly. She was kind enough to model. What I'm initially doing is sort of an exaggerated period look, an old Hollywood look, essentially. Sort of a cross between a Marlene Dietrich with a slightly 20s sort of reference as well. So it's a bit of a juxtaposition. Initially, we're going to start out with the neutral families, charcoals, taupes, ashy browns, and then we're going to transition it into something a little bit more extravagant, something that would be more suitable maybe for either editorial or for runway capacity. Initially what I've done is I've sort of, and with Kelly it was quite a pleasure to work with because again her brows are quite light and necessarily have not been bleached, she's just very fair. So I've sort of created some depth within the orbital socket as you can see here, and then I'm building up depth of color from the outer corner to essentially lift the outer corner. So, you know, primarily we're just playing off of light and shadow with contour techniques. In terms of when I go to establish any sort of forcing, you know, depth or creating the illusion, look forward for me, Kelly, so you can see. Because what we really want to achieve is as much visual interest in the eyelid itself. So I find that a lot of makeup artists that I've worked with and a lot of people that I have trained independently, they tend to go more to the right and to the left. Me personally, I tend to like to work either in pressing, a depositing of color, and then I like to rotate the brush in a circular motion while simultaneously going to the right and also the left, and then to feather the color out. Again, of course, you know, with all contour, I'm using a matte shadow. It says no shine. And again, it's you know, just along through here, it's more of an ash sort of flesh tone taupe, and I'm going along the outer corners for depth with a charcoal brown. It's a brown that's ashed out with a bit of gray. This way for me, Kelly. Okay. This way, no, that lights. And I'm gently just running some of the charcoal color in the lower lash line. Thank you. What I'd like to do at this point is to go ahead and establish what the arch of the brow is going to be and what style of brow we're going to go. We are going to go quite a bit over our natural brow, which is, you can see it's preliminarily, it needs just to create a contour. And as with most things, with makeup, it's really about identifying symmetry and creating harmony within the face. This is obviously very critical when it comes to the brow, especially one that you are, you know, drawing on, basically. And I'm just taking a very dense concealer. One, obviously it's quite lighter than her skin tone, it's creating a bit of a highlight. It's bringing this area forward, clearly. But it's also given me the capacity to go and finesse the brow. Now that we've got to a point where I'm semi-satisfied with the brow, I can always come back to this. I want to go ahead and establish the shape of the eye with respect to the height of the brow. We're just taking a very pigmented cream, obviously it's white, and I'm just basically focusing at the moment on just the deposit of the color. You can close your eyes. And I'm just taking a matte black eyeshadow. The one in particular that I tend to use the most is by MAC, consequently it's called Carbon. I like the amount of pigment it has, looking forward for me. And I like how it blends generally, looking down a bit. I want to get it quite dark, since we're sort of creating the illusion, so I want to force it a bit. So I'm going ahead and I'm laying down quite a bit of black that will intend to blend and soften and diffuse. Just want to go ahead and get the color there. This is one that I prefer. It's The Secret Camouflage by Lord Mercier. This is number, I think I have 1 through 6. This is number 1. There's a really good opacity to it. It wears really well. Like it lasts a long time. It doesn't really bleed out too much. I mean, if anything, it's a bit of a drier texture in terms of concealers. I want to add a bit of color. You know, when I'm working with the neutrals, I like to kind of blend in a little bit of a warm neutral. She's got beautiful blue eyes, so I'm thinking a corally, sort of terracotta, diffusing from this black would be. Quite an interesting color combination, and also obviously it's going to be complementary to the color for eye. Just for some visual impact, I love to use this. This is a Mayron product. Like this way. At this point, what we really need to do, as far as I'm concerned, is we want to establish, obviously, this wing. And I want to transition this into something that would be even more theatrical. But prior to doing that, and prior to doing the lash, I am going to do a lip. I'm thinking of a retro sort of a retro modern sort of lip shape. And in terms of runway and couture makeup, or even editorial, this would sort of be either the foundation for your more extravagant shows, like Dior, Galliano, when the makeup is quite full on. Again, that is, subject to vary depending on the collection, and, whatever the theme is. At this point, I'm just restoring any sort of fallout with the concealer that may have, since we did use quite dark shadows, primarily the black. I just want to make sure that that did not interfere or cause any sort of muddiness or dirtiness under the eye. This makeup artist, that's something that we want to avoid. Kelly's got amazing skin, so she can really effectively wear something quite frosted. And I'm really taking advantage of that by using, again, the Ben Nye Luminaire powder in Ice Gold. It gives the skin a sort of ethereal sort of glow. Again, when you're working with a highly pigmented frost powder, I've found that it's nice to place the color where you want to go and then distribute the product so that it does not end up all over the face in areas that you did not want. And ultimately, makeup is really about using kind of what you have around you. In this instance, just to get a nice clean line, I'm just going to use this. It's easy, it's fast. And I quite like it. It's a very shaped architectural eye. One of the things that I really like about Kelly's features, aside from her eye color and the amount of eye space she has, is of course her mouth. We're going to put a little bit of a lip moisturizer. Then I'm going to sort of come to a stopping point with this look. Then I want to transition into something that's going to be, again, quite theatrical. I mean, obviously this is, I guess by conventional standards, quite theatrical, but this can be taken to a whole nother level. What I'm doing here with this concealer is I'm sort of erasing or just blocking out the corners of the lip. In theory, I want to create, a different shaped lip than what she has, kind of furthering our theme of doing something retro modern. point, we're going to just go ahead and have quite a bit of fun with this and punch it up with some color. Go ahead and exaggerate the eye, and then just take it a bit further with the lashes. We're going to do a sort of Sophia Loren sort of effect where the liner is split, which presently is it's a bit of a trend. Maybe not for day-to-day purpose, but in the essence of just a general look, you see we transitioned it from something that was more of a theatrical, sort of retro feeling, and now we've gone more into a couture, sort of runway feel. We added a bit of punch color, kind of giving you sort of a Guy Bourdin sort of feeling, and then we accentuated the chin, neutral lip. My thoughts concerning color choices that I made working with Kelly were just utilizing color theory and just really bringing out the blue in her eyes, quite simply, looking down this way. We just did top and bottom lashes. Then you can see we just did a split eye detail, which lengthens the eye, makes it look a little bit longer. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.